Hi, I'm Lisa Pierce, Executive Editor of Packaging Digest, reporting from SPC Impact 2018 here in beautiful San Francisco, California. And I have the pleasure of talking today with Sharon Greene, who is an explorer with Alice Labs. And Alice Labs is a strategic management company that does consulting work. And we're going to talk today about the relationship between consumers and their stuff. And so, Sharon, tell me, how is this relationship between consumers and their stuff changing, and why?
Okay, well, that's a very interesting question, Lisa. My colleague and I did an exploration a while back on this changing relationship. We felt that what was happening that a lot of people are focusing on symptoms at the moment. You know, the symptoms they're talking about are digitization, they're talking about millennial values, they're talking about, things like an increased interest in paper. But we felt that we were missing something, which was a structural and underlying shift in the way consumers were relating to the physical world around them, and that this is to an extent being pushed by the digital world. But not only, there's also the issues around sustainability and the fundamental climate change that is impacting the world and the availability of the physical resources. So what we've seen is this shift is not just on one front, it's on several different fronts. And we've identified 4 major territories of change where there are manifestations of a new and different relationship to things.
So, Sharon, you mentioned these 4 areas. What are those 4 areas?
Yeah. The first one is what we call living light. And this is about what we could call repurposing.
Okay.
So people who want to live light are those who are aware of the fact that to adapt to this very volatile and changing environment that we live in, they need to be able to move, be flexible and adaptable. When you need to do that, you can't have lots of things weighing you down. You can't have lots of physical things in your life. Therefore, one of the things you're going to look for are the types of products, the types of things that have multi-purpose usage. So an example I can take is a company in Europe that's producing wonderful shoes for women. Okay, what's unusual about that? Well, what's unusual is the boxes they come in. They come in these wonderful boxes that are not just good for their shoes, but can actually accommodate any shoe, male or female, and that can be stacked in such a way to make a shoe cupboard, if you like. So for somebody who doesn't want to be weighed down by physical furniture, the heavy stuff, this is a great solution, because not only do you stack your shoes, but when you come to move, you just move them with the boxes and you don't have the heavy weight to carry with you. Another example is the second area, which is basically about familiarity. So it's what we call cultivating familiarity, and this is about reuse. So where the first one is about repurpose, this is about reuse. So it's having products that ground you because they're familiar and because you're going to use them again and again. And again, this has an area to play in when it comes to packaging, because you have to think about what ways you can reuse packaging once you've actually opened your product. Is it all going to recycling? And hopefully most of it is, but if it's not being recycled, then what are the other reuses that are possible? The third area is the area of research. Now this is where we see a tendency or a trend towards hyper-curation. Now what's hyper-curation? This is an extreme search for the perfect product. I'd even call it a quest. So people are actually not expecting products to change their lives, but they want to be in control of the direction of their own lives, and they're seeking the products that will actually support them on the quest. And these products are virtually perfect, or what they're looking for is perfect. So within that sphere, obviously everything comes into play, including the packaging that the product is actually delivered in. And then finally is an area that I call, if we're going on with the 4 R's, I would call rejoice. And what is rejoice? This is about engaging with pleasure. And this is a very, very interesting area because for a long time we have been equating sustainability with a pared down, very limited aesthetic.
Minimalism.
Very, very minimalistic. Mm-hmm. And quite often, if I say brown craft bags with green typo on them, would that sound familiar? I think it does. That's the codification that we expect from sustainability today. And yet consumers want more. They actually want to enjoy the sustainability element of what they're purchasing. There are more and more consumers that are willing to engage with sustainability, but they don't want it to be, if you like, a negative choice, something that takes away from their lives. They want it to be something that actually adds to their lives at all levels, and this includes the aesthetic. So it's an opportunity opportunity to actually up the bar on sustainable aesthetic and engage with the consumers that actually want sustainability to be pleasurable from a sensorial perspective.
I see a lot of applicability from a brand design and that communicating that sustainable message and the brand message all together with the packaging. So refresh for me, starting from the back, it was rejoice, research, reuse,
and repurpose.
Excellent. Sharon, thank you so much for sharing all that.
You're very
Appreciate
welcome.
it.
It's been a pleasure talking to you.